Good morning, Alan.
Okay.
So
One more step. Bear with me. Okay, share screen. That's what we're doing.
make sure you enhance,
Yes, thank you.
optimize.
Tracking. Here we go. PowerPoint, share.
As God created me in the light, in the love, in the glory. I am as God created me in the light, in the love, in the glory. In the light, in the love, and the glory. In the light, in the love, and the glory. In the light, in the love, and the glory. I am. In the light, in the love, and the glory. In the light, in the love, and the glory. In the light, in the love, and the glory. I am. I am as God created me. In the light, in the love, in the glory. I am as God created me. In the light, in the love, in the glory. In the light, in the love, and the glory. In the light, in the love, and the glory. In the light, in the love, and the glory. I am. In the light, in the love, and the glory. In the light, in the love, and the glory. In the light, in the love, and the glory. I am. Here we go. In the light, in the love, and the glory. In the light, in the love, and the glory. In the light, in the love, and the glory. I am. In the light, in the love, and the glory. In the light, in the love, and the glory. In the light, in the love, and the glory. I am.
Hooray, hooray, hooray. Thank you to our music team, Dan, Holly, and Pete. We are so grateful for their time, their generosity of spirit, uplifting us with their awesome music. So, I am Reverend Trish Hall. It is my privilege to be spiritual leader of this most absolutely awesome congregation. We not only have those who are here with us on Zoom, we have those who are watching and will watch later on Facebook, and a lot of people who are with us and may not be here, especially at this time of year. People travel. Even with, I've heard kind of icky things about some of the airports, but I choose not to believe them because I'm going to be playing in them starting on the 2nd of August. So I know that they are all loved up and swift and flowing and everything's on time. So with that, getting back on track, I want to welcome everyone and to say that we are here providing spiritual tools for individual and universal transformation. It's all about awakening ourselves, and in that awakening others to their individual magnificence, to the divinity of it all. And that's what we're going to be talking about a lot today, is that divinity thing. So we do have a cell phone policy, and I always have fun saying, "Oh, and take care of your phone." By the way, unless it's there, you don't see it. Oh well. So, in terms of our cell phone policy is, please do get on there and text and tweet and do anything you can to let others know that this is where you are and what you are getting from it, and just make sure that they know that this is a place where they are welcome and invited to celebrate being the divine as them. And with that, I want to introduce our practitioner of today, and that is Diane Stewart Hamlin. And holding conscious for us is our whole practitioner team, which is it feels so good. It just absolutely being loved up and prayed up by all of our practitioners. And so thank you to all of them. And Diane, you're on.
Thank you, Reverend Trish. Good morning, everyone. And I join Reverend Trish in welcoming everyone to this wonderful service and this time together to just dive deep into the divine energy that is all around us and within us. Ask you first to join me in affirmations. And so I am going to read them as if you are here with me physically. So I'm going to read them line by line and ask you to repeat after me. Nice. Okay. There is a power for good in the universe that is greater than I am, and I am using it now. I am using it to do my part to create a world that works for all. Together, we inspire individuals to awaken to their own divinity. We are here to make a huge difference. I'm so grateful for this opportunity, for us to take time together to just really become aligned with the idea that we are here to make a huge difference. We inspire individuals to awaken to their own divinity. That is so powerful and so true. And the individuals that we inspire includes ourselves. And so I invite you right where you are to just settle into the place that you're sitting and just allow yourself to be held by whatever it is that you're sitting on. It might be the bed, it might be a chair, it might be the sofa, it might be the ground. Allow yourself to feel that your body is being held. And then recognize that it is not just the body. You are not just the body, but you are all of it. Spirit, the soul that resides in the body. And just breathe. Breathe gently.
I'm here to remind you of your magnificence, to help you awake to all the wonder that you are. I long to show you all the joy you're worthy of. I'm here to remind you how much you're truly loved.
So each of us being reminded in this moment of our magnificence, each of us being reminded that we are necessary for the unfolding of mankind. We are necessary expressions of God itself. We are necessary and magnificent expressions of creation. And as we sit and we listen today to this beautiful time with our beloved Reverend Trish, each one of us receives exactly what is necessary for us to continue on our path, what is necessary for us to continue to unfold our greatest expression of ourselves. Each one of us remembers exactly who and what we are, perfect emanations of creation itself, of spirit itself. And each one of us stands fully in the awareness that all that we are, God is, and all that God is, we are. And so I declare this service to be the best service ever. Magnificent words of truth flow through Reverend Trish, shot straight from the mind and the heart of God. And I know absolutely that everyone that is here, present now, and present in the nowness of the internet and social media and recordings, receives exactly what is necessary for the unfolding of their good. For this, I give thanks. I give thanks for this blessed community. I give thanks for all who are present in serving the technology that allows us to reach beyond just walls, but reach out into the universe, reach out across the world and touch hearts and lives, giving thanks for everyone who's serving, for all who's holding vigil, for the music, for all the ministries. I know that every congregant is blessed and a blessing. And so I'm grateful and thankful for this and so much more. And I release my words, knowing that they are already made manifest, falling on fertile soil. I give thanks for this time together and simply say, and so it is. Amen.
We're doing a reading now.
You're
Yeah.
muted, Diane.
Yes, I thought we were going to have a little more music first. My reading today, and I had a great time picking this, it comes from this.
There is music, so, but that was, I thought that was after, because I did the music before for the opening.
I have a reading. This thing called You from Ernest Holmes. And it is, well, my version begins on page 139. And I know there are many versions, but I'm just going to read, and I ask you to incline your ear and listen to these words from deep within. Every part of your body is made of pure substance. There is a spiritual body which cannot deteriorate. This spiritual body is already within you. As much of it appears as is recognized, it is the mind that makes this recognition. It is the mind that blocks or permits the emanation of this spiritual body through the physical form. Jesus said, "Destroy this body and I will build up another like unto it." He knew that the spiritual body is indestructible, eternal and perfect. Seeing this perfect body instead of a diseased form, he was able instantly to heal every manner of illness. Spiritual perfection always responds to man's consciousness, but it can respond only in such degree as he becomes aware. The awareness is an inward feeling of conviction, and in a sense, a mental digestion of its meaning. Your mind digests ideas just as your body digests food. Spiritual, mental, and physical laws are identical. Each produces a similar action and reaction on its own place of being. You already have a spiritual body, but your mind is not aware of this. Therefore, the mind automatically becomes a mirror reflecting either the inward perfection or the outward apparent imperfection. It is because this inward perfection is so insistent that you maintain a physical body, but because you are an individual with volition, you can, as it were, hang a curtain between your physical life and its a spiritual cause. Spiritual realization helps to withdraw this curtain. Every statement you make about your body or belief you hold about it, and deep feeling, which causes the mind to accept spirit as the substance of the body, tends to heal. And so it is.
Breathe out, I breathe in. We're sharing molecules again. Oxygen and hydrogen. But do you know where your atoms have been? Parts of me were once in you.
Well, it looks like we're experiencing technical difficulties. And so let's just move ahead. And we have another segment where that song will be played. So it's my hope that when we get to that piece, it'll play because it's really, really cute. It's all about molecules and atoms and the fact that the entire universe is made up of atoms, so are we. And so do you know where your atoms have been is the great question. And there's part of me that says no, I don't, and I think I'm happier for it. But anyway, however that might be, today we're going to be focused on the fact that we're all made of God particles. That is, that there is nothing that is in the universe that is not of that. But I wanted to start with a fun little poem that I found from a poet that I had not encountered before. Her name is Shilan Harkin. And so you may already be familiar with her. But she wrote one about an eccentric god. Okay, if you think the eccentric god who made the octopus is going to judge you for your sins, I'm afraid you've missed the mark. If you think this wild god that spins galaxies as a pastime cares to get fussy about your mistakes, or has ever made anything that wasn't born perfect and luminous, you might need to repent. If you can't yet admit how lovable and infinitely worthy the fullness of your human nature is. If you think God wants to do anything but perpetually pour an abundance of love gifts upon you, well, my dear, your soul might just need to go to confession. And so it's about honoring this divinity, this God particle that is in and as every atom of your entire being. And that's true of all creation. So let's get it straight. Our creation story makes total sense, and it is the intersection of spirituality and science and spirituality. And some people, especially back many, many, many years, said, oh no, we have to divide. And there's the realm of science and there's the realm of spirit, and never the twain shall meet. But the truth is, the twain could not unmeet, because it's all one thing. It is all, as in our quote, creation story, what we explain or understand about it is that, and this gives into the science, the quantum physics, the spirituality, they all come out just fine together. And that is that something, which I choose to call God, but something that did not have form, that was preformed, prior to form, ex, uh, expanded, exploded, sprung forth into and as itself, of itself, into all form. Now, if you're a scientist, you say that was the Big Bang. If you say it from spirit, God created. But in either case, there wasn't something of form here before that. It wasn't like God could, oh, I'll pick up the palette of paints and a bucket of sand and I'll create. No, it was created of itself. So there is absolutely nothing in creation that isn't made of God particles, that isn't divine simply in its being. There cannot be a God and something else. For God, and that's my word, you can use any word you want. There cannot be anything that isn't of that divine. And so God, or whatever, is everything. It is absolutely everything. The things we like, the things we don't like. It involves all of creation. And that involves whether it's creepy crawlies or fuzzy wormies or, whatever. It's just all made of that same stuff. And when we just stop for a moment, maybe even shudder a little bit, shake it off, move into it. When we go to that space and acknowledge that this is what I'm made of, there's sort of a wow sensation. And what's true of me is true of you and you and you and you and you and you and everyone. Or it's just all made of the same stuff. It is made of God particles. It is divine. And so I'm going to kind of plant a thought as we move, as we're moving forward, that it's essential for us to remember that it's all God, or it's all that same divine particle, because that's how we relate to other people. Whether we bring that with us, whether that's the filter through which we look at it, it's how we relate. So we're going to start first with ourselves. And starting with ourselves, the other day I was talking with Reverend Jackie, actually, and I made reference to one of my favorite stories, or one of my favorite illustrations of how it is to be of God. And most of us are familiar with trapeze flyers. Those are the trapeze artists that that swing way up high, way up high, And in their process, they are standing on a platform, they grab a bar, they turn and swing out. Now, what many people don't know is that rope is actually longer than a direct hook for them. So if they were to swing back, they would not swing back up to the platform. It's too long. And so when they swing out far beyond. And as a matter of fact, I've been told that if they were to swing in a certain way, they'd smack into the platform, but that's a side issue. Okay, so when they swing out, they are getting momentum. They're riding on God energy. When they swing back, okay, then when they swing out, they let go and turn in the air. And the catcher, that is the trapeze artist from the other side, is waiting for them, catches them, and they do whatever is the next. That's a whole lot about how we trust God. Are we willing to swing out and let go, knowing that God's got it? Big, hairy question. How far does your trust go in terms of God's got it? That God is the catcher. That and think about this. If it's all divine and it's all of God, then the catcher is catching itself. Because it's catching us. And we are the individuations of it. So imagine that what you are doing in consciousness, in your activities, that when you trust in that creator that is expressing itself in, as, around, through, and throughout each of us, then we know that we are functioning from that place of wisdom that is tuned into God, and we let go. Now, in our human journey, it is I have, I do. Okay, I got to get rid of those other verbs. Okay, in this journey, the human part, the humanity says, what if God doesn't catch me? Well, if God's catching God, then pretty much it's a given. God's going to get you. God's got it covered. But in that humanity, we tend to look outside. And Sung Shan said, if you look for the truth outside yourself, it gets farther and farther and farther away. Only if we understand that it is in us and we turn and welcome the experience inside to and then express outward, that's when we get it. That we're not going to get it by looking outside. That's not where it is. It just gets farther and farther away. And so in Diane's reading, there was reference to a curtain. And it's important for us to take a moment with that curtain, because that's that place between knowing absolutely that God's got it handled and we know the catcher will catch us, and our humanity trying to look for answers outside ourselves, and that we argue with God about what is safe or not, because we're just sure our humanity knows more about what's going on than to remain in faith. And what it comes down to is we are the only ones who can pull back that curtain that has sort of just happened between our divine truth and our human experience. And so long as that curtain is in between the divine truth and our human experience, then we live in our own world of duality. And a lot of times you'll hear references to spirit having a human experience. And I say we need to relanguage that, because human spirit is expressing as our human experience. There is no this has this, or this is apart from this, or that there's any separation, except in the curtain that we have allowed to form. And since we have allowed it to form between our divinity and our human experience, we're the only ones that can remove it. And so every belief that we hold, every statement we make about ourselves, whether it's body, mind, soul, spirit, every piece of that is a cause set in motion. And our teaching and a lot of others, there is an understanding that the law, that is the law of God, responds with yes. Okay, so what are we saying to ourselves? When you recognize that you have the power to unify or to fragment you, that's kind of a big thing when you think about it. That self-responsibility, that can be pretty scary. And for some, it's, a big burden. And I invite you to flip that around. It's a huge power. That when we recognize that we have had the power and may have used it to fragment ourselves, to have to sense that I am the human and that's my spirit, and somehow they're apart. No, but that power that we have unifies that. It brings it totally into alignment, because what we are telling ourselves is cause set in motion. So if we are telling ourselves that we are weak, we are damaged, we are broken, we are whatever, that isn't uplifting. Oh, there's one that just jumped in. Have you ever said, I'm stupid? Or anything along that line? Okay, that's a cause being set in motion, because the law says yes, and it's saying yes, even because, alas, it's not a great big editor up there. It's right here. So today I invite you to become incredibly conscious of what are you saying to yourself? What are you telling you? Ooh, what are you saying about you? Have you ever looked in the mirror and said something not complimentary? Have you ever, looking back at a point where we got grades on a report card, looked at them and, then berated yourself or something like that? Okay, that's cause set in motion. And so right here, right now, today, you get to choose what you are setting in motion. What if, instead of those less than uplifting comments, what if you said, hey, wow, I'm an individuation of spirit. I am made of God particles. I am absolutely this divine being that is here to share and to uplift others and to be totally excited and engaged in life. If you are saying those things to yourself along with me, then you are already feeling a shift in your own body. Because when we say those words, we are uplifted and we sparkle with that light, with those God particles. They all just start firing off and they're scintillating. And so now I invite you to recognize the divinity of all. What if we all could reach our potential and make a contribution to the world? What if that? That would create more abundance, solve humanity's problems faster, and make the world better for everyone. Now, wouldn't that be awesome? And it starts by recognizing that they're all made of God particles too. Emerson told us, don't be pushed by your problems, be led by your dreams. Oh, I love that, because confession time, I have on occasion, and I'm being careful about what I say about myself in this process. Okay, I have on occasion been driven by what I felt I had to do, and maybe they were my problems, but I've allowed them to drive me, not just push me, but drive me. Okay, and I think I'm not alone. And so instead of having that as the force, how about opening to your dreams? How about understanding that you are not the you are not what's gone before. You are what you aspire to be, because that's the dream, that's the possibility. And one of the little interesting things about this journey when we awaken to being God particles is that we are ever evolving individually and therefore collectively. And as Lillian Hellman said, people change and forget to tell each other. Isn't that cool? It's kind of challenging for relationships too, because as we change and we evolve and we are in this wonderful flow of evolution and advancement and shifting and shifting. And if we don't clue in those people who are on, in our lives, then all of a sudden they're going, who's she? And when they're challenged, it's challenging because the person I thought you were is not there anymore. It's a new person. It's a new possibility of you. Well, if you've changed, then I have choices. And among the choices are, I can try very hard to put you back in the box that's comfortable for me and constrain you from your evolution, which doesn't work. Okay. Or I can sort of tolerate you, or I can abandon you because you're not the person I thought you were. See, I have lots of choices, and one of them is that I could change too. And some people resist it. Some people are afraid of change. But yet we cannot not be evolving, because world of form does. Spiritual world does. We are ever evolving. So in that, we're probably driven at least somewhat by our self-interest. The self-interest is spiritual evolution. Oh, yes, of course, it's self-interest. And we need to make sure that our self-interest is wise, that it includes a generosity of spirit, that is cooperative and takes into account the interests of others, and yet not let the others contain us in their old version of the box called me. So this is kind of, that's why I think, well, that's why they call it a flow, is that it's moving, evolving, flowing, adjusting. And it is all as individuations, expressions of that one creator that has sprung forth as all of us. And so in this evolution, in this shifting and being in community, that is, in being in connection with one another, we must acknowledge the interbeingness of interconnectedness. And that is, as I am, those who are in contact in life with me are shifting. And we have this beautiful dance that says, as you evolve and I evolve, and we come together and we honor this process in one another, recognizing God in expression as each of us, that we are made of God particles. We are that. Then whether we're a trapeze artist that swings out and lets go in full faith and confidence, there's a catcher, and that catcher is catching. So then we can push our envelope, we can push out and say, yeah, I am going to step beyond where I have stepped before. I am going to push that envelope. I am going to be more expressive of the divinity that is me. And I'm going to go, oh, this is life. It's mindful. It's a balance. It's a mindful balance. It's an aliveness that can only happen when we are willing to be responsible, when we are willing to take responsibility for what we are telling ourselves, because it reflects out and dumps on everyone else, spreads, it's contagious. And so are what we are doing contagious with love, contagious with life, contagious with awfulizing? Nah, none of us would ever awfulize, ever. Okay, so now I have a question for you, and it comes from Richard Bach. It's kind of a zinger. So take a deep breath. Definitely suggest take a deep breath. And then we're going to do something a little different. But the question is, it's like at the end of life, there's a surprise quiz. Am I proud of me? That's the question you ask yourself. And then realize you gave your life to become the person you are right now. Was it worth what you paid? Ouch. I love that question. You gave your life to become what you are. Isn't that an amazing thing? It's very definitely a Richard Bach. Was it worth what you paid? So we're going to have just a little break time, just a little space in here, and I throw the question out to you. And I'll wait a polite length of time and move on if would anybody care to respond to that question? Yes.
Restate the question. The
Okay,
specific.
sure. According to Richard Bach, and this is in the first person, am I proud of me? I gave my life to become the person I am right now. Was it worth what I paid? Sandy, go for it. Unmute.
A resounding yes. Yes. Yes, I paid a lot, but God, was it worth it? My life is beautiful. And there was quite a few times when it wasn't. But God, it brings to, I mean, yes. It was all worth it. Yes. Thank you, God.
Yeah.
I agree with Sandy. Yes. I mean, not to say I wouldn't have done things differently, but I'm grateful for where I am and what I have now and what the way I'm doing things. I've learned along the way, and I'm putting that learning into use to the best of my ability every day. And
Yeah. Anybody else want to dive in?
I'm in the Dan and Sandy camp. There's been a lot that I've sacrificed, and what felt like sacrifice at the time, but now I know it's what brought me where I am today, and I'm in a great place. I mean, I have a whole nother career in front of me. This is like my third or fourth one, and I'm super excited about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think I am too. I am, I always say my life, who I am now is the sum total of all my experiences. And no matter what the experience or what it felt like at the time, I can honestly say that every single thing that I have experienced has had a benefit. I have been able to use it to help someone else. I've been able to use it to share compassion. I've been able to use it to hold the space around someone else's life. And even like Dan, I feel that now that I'm wiser, I might have made different decisions when I was younger, but I think, the experience is what was necessary to make me wiser. So yes, I believe it has, every single second has been worth it.
Anybody else? I look back at some of the choices I made, and that silly question about, and what were you thinking? Because and in hindsight, I can see that having made that less than brilliant choice equipped me to be much more compassionate with others. So, anybody else have something to add? If not, Libby, go for it. You're still muted.
There we go. Ask me 20 years from now.
Oh, and so let's just drop into prayer. Let's just go to that space in which we just absolutely open to and sink into God is all there is. That one creator that has sprung forth and is springing forth as all of creation. That one, that source that is alive in its expression, alive as its expression. And I know that I am, and everyone here, and everyone watching, and everyone who ever will watch, and everyone far beyond that, all those that are touched by any of us, and those that are even beyond that touch, and all the rest of creation. It is all one with, inseparable from, and it is the outpicturing, the formed essence expression of the divine. And so in that awareness of the divinity of all of it, that it is all God particles, I declare on behalf of each and every one of us that I stay awake and remember that it is all God particles, and that I am here as an individuation of God to share that, to be aware of it, and to uplift those who are in need of upliftment, to embrace those who are in need of embrace, to be that essence of divine expression that is present with all. that recognizes the oneness of everything and that is willing to take a stand, to be a stand on behalf of all creation, to lean in as a spiritual activist, to be that full awareness of spirit engaged in this world, knowing divinity and human experience without a curtain, no divide, no separation. It is all it is. And living from that place, I declare that each of us is living from that place. And that each of us is totally and completely supported by the divine within, that is the divine without. It is the divine that is embracing us and emanating from within us. That is the divine. That is this experience. And I am so grateful for this awareness, for this, this excitement about it, that I simply release. I let it go, knowing it is so. God's got it handled. And so it is.
So it is.
Oh. And so we're going to try music again and see if this section behaves. Or not. Diane, you're on.
Well, let me give it one more try.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know what I don't know.
It's a cute song, so it's
Let me make sure the speaker is set properly. Hang on 1 second. I'm sorry. Thank you everyone for your patience. Hang on.
and have you optimized?
Yes.
Okay, we'll do it another time if it doesn't.
All the atoms everywhere circle back so we can share. No escaping, yes, it's true. Parts of me were once in you. All the atoms here on earth get recycled, death to birth, like some ever-changing brew. Parts of me are now in you. All these atoms we've collected only mean that we're connected. Since we share what we're made of, don't you think that calls for love?
Yay.
Thank you, Josh, for hanging in there with it.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Josh. So wonderful. Let me make sure, am I unmuted? Yes, fantastic. So I wanted to invite you, now that we've had such a wonderful time, to join me in our prosperity blessing and learn all the ways to give. So now I am having technically challenging moments. There we go. Okay, and so first we'll do our blessing. So please say this out loud right where you are with me. I know that God is the source and substance of my supply. I joyously share my supply with this spiritual center. There are many ways for us to give. And we do, if you go to our website, you can do through Givelify, which is, I believe, an app, www.givelify.com. That's GIVELIFY.com. You have to specify Center for Spiritual Living Metro. You can do this on your smartphone. It's simply add the app and then follow the directions, and you can give as much as you would like. You can also go to our CSL metro.org website and click on the donate button, and that gives you the option to donate through PayPal. And of course, we still accept checks, so you can send a check by mail to 7006 Ted Drive, Falls Church, Virginia, 22042. And so I just want to remind everyone to just take a moment and really think about where you're giving from. Because the giver's hands are never empty. And when you give, you participate in the law of circulation. You support your spiritual community that feeds you, and you support the community's efforts and work in the world. And in this moment, I just know that everyone is pressing the button and sending the money that is necessary for all that is needed in this community, for all that is necessary for this community to do the work that it does in the world. And so I bless the tithe, the gifts, the offering, knowing that each and every dollar, each and every...
This beautiful day, this beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful day. Thank you for my friend spirit. Thank you for my friends. Thank you for my friend spirit. Thank you for my friends. My wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful friends. My wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful friends. Now thank you for this day, spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, spirit. Thank you for this day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. Thank you for this day, spirit. Thank you for this day.
See, that's what happens when you get excited. Because you know that everyone in the community is so generous, and everyone has pressed the button and sent the money and written the check, and the community has all that is necessary. So I'm giving thanks. I'm going to bless this tithe, this gift, this offering, giving thanks for all that it represents in our community, which is that it blesses all of the ministries. It blesses all of the ways that we show up in the world, blessing the music ministry and the technology ministry, and blessing the education ministry, and blessing our ministers, and blessing our practitioners and the community at large, and all the work that we do out in the world, the ways that we serve. This community is pouring money in, and that money becomes energy. And so I see us prospering, thriving, and I am grateful for this time, for this effort by the community to continue to support and grow and unfold spiritually, mentally, emotionally, physically, and financially. Grateful for this and so much more. I release these words, knowing that all that is necessary is already done. And so it is. Amen.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. And so we have a couple of announcements. The first one is next week. The title is The One and Only. In many ways, it's sort of an extension of what we were talking about today. A little different look at it. And it will be virtual only, streaming on Facebook and on Zoom. And you are invited to join us for weekday meditation, 8 a.m. Eastern and 9:15 Eastern on Zoom. So also you can submit prayer requests through our website. You can also go to the website and get contact information for our practitioners. And so however you do that, just take advantage of the prayer, take advantage of the meditations, use all of the spiritual practices that are available to you. Then our next announcement, I think we still have an announcement up about participating in the spiritual chain reaction for peace. Is that next? Or did that get pulled? Anyway, there's one more week of it. Yes. And I haven't heard whether it's going on as a formal presentation after the 1st of August. However, don't stop just because the formal presentation does. I invite you to pause, whether it's at noon like some of us do, or anytime during the day. Just stop, calm, go to that place of peace within you, and know that that impacts, that alters how the world is. Because think about it, just imagine if everybody, I mean, everybody stopped for a moment, found peace, hesitated in peace, as peace. Can you even imagine how this world would be? Wow. And with that, yeah, there's going to be another announcement coming soon, but not this week. Okay, let's have some music.
Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way. Let me love in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way. Let me love in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me know that love is all around me. Let me know that love is all around. Oh, let me know that love is all around. Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me live in a holy, holy way. Let me live in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me learn all those I fall. Let me learn from all the ways I fall. Oh, let me know that love can heal us all. That love can heal us all. Oh, let me live in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me live in a holy, holy way. That's right. Oh, let me live in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me live in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me serve in a holy, holy way. Let me serve in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me serve in a holy, holy way. Let me serve in a holy, holy way.
Yes. Oh, I do so love that song. Let me live, let me love, let me serve in a holy, holy way. And so now please join As we do our affirmation, our closing affirmation, I leave this place now knowing something better than I knew before. I go forth into the world with a heart full of love and a mind full of good sense. I look at the world in a greater way, knowing that I have within me everything I need to create the life I desire. I give thanks for this understanding, and I am grateful for the spirit of life that lives through me. And so it is. So everyone is invited to stick around for social time for a few minutes. And also, if you're on Facebook, you can go to cslmetro.org, click the Zoom button, come join us for social time. Also, today is our leadership meeting, and so we will be convening at 11:30 for that. So with that, we will say goodbye to our Facebook gathering and stop the recording and be social. And then I think some people have a meeting that they're going to go off to.